Welcome to Game of Roses. This is PaceCase.
This is... Come on now.
Oh, geez.
Come on.
Gets me every time.
Now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. I got my Latia Gar Come On Now hat.
Put on his new BachelorClues hat from Latia Gar's collection.
If you're just listening and you're not watching, you should go to YouTube immediately where you can see me flaunting, peacocking with my new Latia Gar Come On Now official trucker cap. I love it.
The peacocking is so effective, it got me to put on my Stay True Maddie Prue sweatshirt in the same color.
That's what caused you to put it on as my Latia Gar hat. Come on!
Yeah, I was jealous. I wanted to have a religious influencer merch.
Yeah, it's a very nice hat. It's beautifully made, high quality.
I didn't see the mesh. That's nice.
Now.
That can breathe.
Yeah, exactly. My head, when it heats up from saying "come on now" too much, when you put it on, you have no choice but to say "come on now." You have to do it. Thank you for indulging. It will live right back there. Now, we're not here to discuss any such matters, even though we've just done it. What we're here to do is break down the top 10 moments of this past week in Love Island Season 7. Love Island USA Season 7, I should say. A lot happened. We're going to be counting down here.
So much.
The 10 most important things. Are you ready to jump right into this pace case?
And we literally just watched episode 26. So this is episode 21 through 26, if you're not caught up.
Minus
Don't
episode
listen.
24? Whatever the Aftersun was in there.
No, there will never be an Aftersun.
Yeah.
I'm ready, but we are just coming off of what will be a high up number. The Truth Box Challenge of Love Island.
Yeah. Let's begin this.
Up.
Mine as well. Number 10 on our list of the top 10 most important things that have happened over the past week in Love Island USA Season 7 is from episode 26, the one that we just watched. Zach, with a K, fumbling Amaya. This conversation they had. When you're a bombshell, let me just preface all of this with this. When you're a bombshell like Zach with a K or Zach with a C, God rest his immortal soul, you can't pick and choose, generally speaking. If you have a sure thing with an OG or with like Amaya is a bombshell who came in a little bit later, right? She wasn't an OG. She was a first round bombshell. If you
she came in with Hannah in one of the first challenges.
But she is now kind of she's been grandfathered in to some degree. She is accepted by the OGs as kind of an OG. If you have a possibility to match, to couple up with one of these players, especially because they may have no other options, they may express some interest in you, you simply must take that opportunity at all costs. You can never turn that away unless you have, and this I think is probably statistically extremely rare, a stronger legitimate connection with somebody else, which Zach K does not. So
he's exploring Olandria, but at that point Olandria is still theoretically exploring Taylor still.
Mm-hmm.
It is wild to me, the conversation that they have in this episode.
I agree.
He says the quote, "We both have legs," when she asked why he didn't pull her yesterday.
Yeah.
Which you never want to be saying anything like that to your romantic interest in this game.
I say it all the time. Oh, in the game. Sure. That's my go-to line.
In the game.
Yeah.
I have no commentary on what's outside the game. I just live in the game.
Can you give me a drink?
It's a bad fourth audience play. It's a bad legs. Second/first audience play that you have in Love Island. Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry. This is going to be used a lot. This hat is going to get its use. She sold out, by the way. This entire line sold out in seconds.
I know. You could probably make a lot of money.
Well, what I'm waiting for is the reprinting, the second edition, because I'm going to buy like 10 of them. I just feel like I'm going to be using this so much, it's going to get worn out and decay very quickly.
Will you get the alternative version that says Gaslighting Survivor as the little subtext.
I believe it's inappropriate probably for me to wear that as a dude.
Yeah, but maybe a different color.
Yeah, this is the only color they had.
Only blue?
I think so. Or maybe was there a green one? Okay. I don't remember. This was the one I got. At any rate.
Well,
Zach.
We see that. I mean, I expected a lot from this player once I learned that he was friends with Miguel. I was like, okay, he's been trained by someone who is dating the top player from last season.
There's a lot of ego being thrown around. Ace has this problem too, but Zach definitely has it in this moment where he's like, oh, you have legs as well. You could have come to talk to me. It's like, that's not what's happening here, dude. She's pulling you to say, you're fucking up. You're not playing this correctly. Your only play in that moment is to say, you're correct. Come on now. Sorry. Your only play there is to say, you're right. I'm sorry. How can I make this better? I do have a connection with you. I do want to explore it. And if I'm not doing what needs to be done to maintain your interest, tell me what I need to do. I'm going to do it immediately. And then you just, whatever she says you need to do, you do it immediately. That's the whole play right there.
Let me plan some little thing. Let me put flowers on your breakfast. Let me take you down to the dock to show you how I catch fish with my hands. Whatever it is, he does have some conversations with Olandria. But yeah, that's our number 10. We still have single Amaya. And she's a fan favorite as well. Not that he necessarily would know that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have their phones.
I don't think there's been a result.
Yeah, they're not going to know that exactly. But like just the basic math of it is. But I mean, she wasn't in the top 4 or whatever. Sure.
Girls.
But it's basically this. The longer a player has been in the game, the more popular they're going to be. That basic math pretty much always holds true with the exception of Austin. But that's for outside reasons. Like that has nothing to do with his gameplay. I think if Austin had not been embroiled in all these, he liked all these Trump posts and all the problematic shit that's being said about him on Reddit. I think if that wouldn't have happened, he'd probably be up in the couple 100Ks. I don't see why he wouldn't. Right.
I mean, yeah, I think there's sometimes people who float on through. Austin is one of them. Yep. As we'll get to in some of the call outs. Good God, this challenge. Our number 9 top moment from this week is Ace and Chelle are at a standstill. We see this conversation between them in which they discuss what happened in the heart rate challenge, and Ace reiterates that he has options open, and he questions Chelle having boundaries for him in the challenge due to her exploring Chris.
This is, I believe, another error, and especially the manner in which Ace is doing this. I've been calling his playstyle controllo, because everything he does is based on this idea that like, this is how this conversation is going to go. Don't call me that. I don't want you to do this. It's very much like I'm controlling the entire situation. And if you challenge that control, I will challenge you back 10 times harder. And he's doing it with Chelle, which does not make sense in terms of the construct of this game. What you're trying to do, at least in terms of the 4th audience approval, is basically never go against the top players, especially in a case where it's like, the woman is trying to come to you. She kind of did want to close things off. He was the one who said open options. And so she's like, all right, fine. Open options it is. This is all on him. And he's trying to position it on anybody else, accepting no accountability for his own bad plays.
I do think like a all eggs, one basket with no ultimatum probably would have been a better move here.
Yes,
especially since he just sent home Coco. Also, stop bringing up Coco.
God, I know.
There's nothing you can do about that situation here. I also think this is a fumble because they could have beat Nic and Cierra to it. The first all eggs is really, it kind of feels the most for TRR because it seems like it's an original idea and you need to space out the time between when they do it and when you do it. So...
And it's a race.
I just think
I mean, it's literally a race to who's going to close off first in this game. And I think it gives you such a huge head start in terms of being the couple that could potentially win it, because it's like, they went through all this turmoil. He was exploring other options, the Nicolandria thing, whatever. We're going to talk about that obviously in this list. Yeah. She was exploring things with Elan in Casa Amor, and now they've overcome all of these hurdles, all these obstacles. They are all eggs. They are closed off. And so everybody else now is playing catch up. And I agree with you. Ace and Chelle could have been that couple.
They probably like loaded it with producers that were rewarded with the date in order to do so. They'll probably get rewarded with the hideaway. So they stop having sex in front of everyone else.
Exactly. They've already set up that narrative a little bit. They're too noisy. We need to be able to sleep too.
But I expect Ace and Chelle will do this soon, but we'll see.
I mean, they have to. It is the next step for any of these couples. They have to close off. Moving on. Our number 8 most important moment this week was from episode 26. Olandria tells Cierra about Nic's kiss with Chelle. It's
in a threesome. She doesn't pull Cierra separately. She talks to her with Cierra there and kind of says it as probably shouldn't have been in the top 10, but
here
I thought it was an interesting play.
I thought this was, I read this wrong. I thought it was when Olandria in the Standing on Business Challenge tells everybody that, the
tattle. We'll get to that.
That's coming later.
We'll get to that. She reveals a kiss. She tattles and reveals a kiss later. Okay. Let's just move on to number 7.
Please, let's do it. Number 7 is Huda, the superstar of this season, coupling up with Chris. Now, Huda has virtually no choice here. I know she came in with, what was that dude's name? JD. And then she kind of peeled off to Chris, who was with Chelle, and that is going to lead to big problems, obviously, as we see. But it gives us some really funny moments as well, like the pancake math that Huda starts doing about. Well, so you gave her
2 pancakes. You gave me 1
and a flower.
You gave her a flower. You gave me none.
God damn, beautiful play. And
she's just like a slam poet.
She's just a reality star. Like, she has the thing. She has it. It's oozing out of her. Just magnetic, electric, so genuine, so real. But this hooking up or coupling up with Chris is basically like, I wouldn't call it a Hail Mary for Huda, but it's kind of her only play at this point until they bring in somebody new. And I think it's like, it's made some things a little messy with Chelle and whatever, but the way she is playing it, I think, is good.
I mean, they discuss it in the challenge, but she technically did tell Chelle she was interested in Chris.
Yeah.
Before the recoupling. She kind of couches it in, I'm bringing him back for you too. But we get some hilarious, I think he's a great choice of partner for her.
Me too.
He says, I always attract emotionally unstable women, which I laughed at really hard.
That came off her asking him, what's your type? And he's like, I don't really have a type. Just emotionally unstable women, I guess. And she's like, ha, 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 that's not me. And it's like, he saw the whole first half of the season. He was watching literally on his TV. Everything she did with Jeremiah.
No, the way that, at least we don't see it in the cut, the way that he doesn't acknowledge any of the crash out at all is like exactly what you need to do if you're in Chris's position.
100%. Or if you acknowledge it by saying like, that dude you're with mishandled it. I know you're going to feel some type of way about something in the future, and you want me to be the guy by your side because I can calm you down. I can handle the shit he couldn't. That ain't a real man. Something like this.
Chill. You'll never get pancakes without a protein with me, baby.
That's right. Your pancakes will be cooked all the way through. They will have protein. They will be cut in the name of the first letter of your name, and I will have flowers. Every one of these things.
The flower thing is like, I've never seen it highlighted so much as in this season, but Bigger and Bigger Flowers to me by Ace is hilarious.
That shit that Ace brought in, she even said, Chelle even said, like, what, you're tearing down the whole goddamn garden or something?
Yeah,
something like
that.
In this
branches off of trees.
He's just fucking wrecking everything, just destroying. I love it. We also talked about, by the way, if you're not watching along with us on Patreon, please go to patreon.com/Game of Roses and you can watch every episode with us in Casa Gore where we're breaking down play by play as they're happening. And I remember when this pancake math thing came out, we were talking about so many experimental plays where you wake up like 2 hours before everybody else, you go down to the kitchen, you use all the pancake mix, you take all of it and you make like 200 pancakes that you give just to whoever your person is. Fuck everybody else. Sorry, no pancakes for you. I'm not getting pancake mathed again.
Exactly. I can't believe we didn't see the follow-up to this at the following breakfast, where he presumably rectified the situation. But things are going in a good path. They go in the Speakeasy and Makeout. And I'm looking forward to what else is in store.
Yeah, I like Chris too. I think he's a good player. I mean, there's a lot of bombshells who are really actually good players.
Chris could have been an OG.
Chris could have been. Coco could have been. I would say even
Coco.
Jaden is good. I think she's very funny.
Yeah.
Has some
Coco,
great face
Jaden, Chris, all could have been OGs.
Even Elan. I think he could have been an OG. He does some interesting shit here and there. And he's
Guess
just
who Clues voted for as favorite boy tonight? Elan.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
I fucking did. And do you want to know why? Because I think that guy is not getting his fair shot. I think he is a good player, and I'm trying to save him. Look, we also know that the votes they're fake. The producers say whatever they want to manipulate the situation. But right now, I'm going to live in the Delulu as my Salulu that my vote counted, and I'm going to get Elan a couple of more days in the villa so that he can show us what he's got. I just don't think he's getting a fair shake. And I'd rather see him.
Am I more Delulu than you? I think that the votes are real, but the way that they manipulate the vote is not real.
I just don't think anything
I think they are
in the show
real
is real.
Tallies,
Sorry.
but then they're like, what they do with them is obviously up to them.
Yeah.
Our number 6 top play of this week, which some people probably thought would be number 1. However, it did not satisfy.
Not like Jesus
is the only one that satisfies. Quote, Maddie Prue. But
come on now.
This is Nicolandria. Probably because of the huge amount of online support that this ship happened. Mm-hmm. The producers confangled all of Casa Amor, dumping Nic, dumping Olandria in order to do this setup for them as a date and then send Olandria into the villa with Nic. They had this bizarre table where they're basically like kidnapped prisoners without like not understanding what's going on. They then make out and soul ties, give this thing a shot. And people had mixed feelings about whether this was true chemistry or not. You can sound off in the comments.
And it blows my mind that anyone watching this could in any way come to the conclusion that it was real at all. This was 100% scripted. Both of them are acting in it. You can see on his face, you can see on her face when they're like, oh, should we try and explore this and see if something's really there? They're fucking acting. This is pro wrestling 100%. And I think the performances were like, fine, I'll give them a B plus, maybe B minus. They weren't like super convincing in my opinion, but they did what they had to do. When the producers are like, here's the deal. We accidentally let them vote out our 2 favorite players. So you can either leave tonight or pretend to be in a relationship and come back into the show. Of course they have to do that.
So curious how this shit show went down. Like, did they just not know what the votes were going to be? Was this somehow their real plan? I am unlike you in that I think some part of it is that they are physically attracted to each other.
But they all are. All of the people on the show are fucking 10s. There's nobody there who's not physically attracted to everybody else there.
I don't think that's true, but not that they're not all 10s, but I think that I think there are certain people who are not into other people. These people have been able to, and this is like part of what I love about Love Island is it's like actors moving to LA where they were the best actor that they knew, and then they in their high school, whatever, and then they go to LA and it's like, oh, this is all the best actors from around the country.
Yeah.
Love Island is like that for like hot people. None of them have ever been rejected before. So all of them are able to be like extremely discerning in like who they get with kind of thing. And you see some people flip out because they're just not used to this treatment or competition or whatever.
In this most recent episode, she was like, I can't believe Pepe friend-zoned me.
I put that in here.
It was the first time I've ever been friend-zoned in my life. I'm like, shit. Must be nice. Good work if you can get it.
Yeah. So I do think some of it is real. I do think that they had some chemistry in the making out in the challenges, but no one was going to tell Olandria she's not with Taylor until Taylor did it. So
of course, I just thought it was like poorly
Nic,
produced.
Had gone through so much with Cierra, hard to believe on that end as well.
Yeah, the conceit of them together as a couple did not work for me for all the reasons you just mentioned. The presentation of them as a couple did not work for me. Everything from the weird forced date to the stupid G-Wagon, get in, we've got somewhere to be at the end of episode, what was that, 20, I think? Because this started at episode 21. This was the first thing we saw was them at that little table with the white champagne glasses, cheersing to pro wrestling, basically. And I have no problem
to be like, get in fast, and then it's like, obviously there's conversations that happen between that and the table. It's like, okay, go sit there. What's the rush?
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on. Number 5, our fifth most important thing that happened in this week of Love Island USA Season 7 was the heart rate challenge, pure bacchanalia. I've never seen anything quite like this in a television show that was not pornography.
Whoa,
I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, sorry, Madison. I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject. We saw toe sucking. We saw everybody kissing Cierra. We saw 3-way kisses. Who's that? Chelle, Ace, and Amaya making out with 3 tongues became one.
Couples attacking one person. Really had a problem with the fact that they did it in couples, and especially insult to injury that they weren't even in matching costumes. It made no sense.
There were a couple that were. There was like Austin and Jaden, I think. She was like a cop and he was in a prisoner outfit. There were some that were more vague about the matching ups, but some of them were like, it's an angel and a McDonald's employee or whatever. I don't even know. They just had nothing to do with one another.
Like I agree. They had fucked up Casa somehow and they had to alter this challenge to make it work with the numbers, or
because they had too many fucking people. That's the bottom line. That's why they also had them come out and perform in couples instead of each person comes out one by one and goes through everybody. It's like, okay, send out this couple, let's go. It's this season. I know it's the most successful season in the history of this franchise, et cetera, et cetera. There are many parts of it that are produced like pure shit. This was one of them, I thought. The heart rate challenge was saved by the unbelievably stellar performances of a few of these players, like Huda, obviously.
Athletes.
Beyond. Because it's not just like, yes, you have to be physically, athletically capable to pull off some of these moves. For sure. You saw what Huda did. That shit was unreal.
I mean,
where she did like a handstand.
Working in a handstand.
Unbelievable. We
saw, was it Iris did like some sort of back bendy. But that's part of the problem is that all of it kind of blurred together for me because it wasn't the individual performances. I highly suggest to the producers listening that they go back to the individual performances and give everyone their glory that they deserve.
Exactly.
Like, Cierra should have had a singular performance, a one-woman show.
I agree. I think I mean, they obviously cut some of these performances a little bit short. It's like, you don't need to show me all of them. Show me the best ones and show me all of the best ones. Because what you're asking these players to do, and I know this may sound frivolous, whatever, to some degree, this is like Hujuing in The Bachelor. Some people think that piece of the subsport is like a joke. It doesn't matter. Well, it fucking actually does. I won't go down that path. This is not The Bachelor. We are talking about Love Island. You won't put your hat on.
Yeah.
Well, don't tempt me. Come on now. You took
it off.
The twerking. I just put it on and say the phrase and then take it off. The twerking that these athletes do is very akin to the Huju. It is a piece. It is a subsport that's a piece of this game. All of these players know coming into this show at this point, you're going to have to do something like this. You're going to have to dress basically in underwear where your genitalia are basically visible, and you are going to have to grind your ass and or genitalia in the face of these other players. You're going to have to do it at a high professional level. It's going to have to look like you have years of exotic dancing experience. That's what you're being asked to do. That's not like, oh, let's go on a reality show and have fun. People are training for this shit. You saw what Huda did. That is not just like, oh, let's see if I can do this. She has practiced this shit for hours. So when you're asking players to be that capable and to do that much, you have to present it better. And they just didn't.
I agree. Speaking of the presentation of it, we miss you and I missed in the chaos, the part that was the most important for the plot line, which is Chelle gets mad at Huda for going too far with Ace. She pulls him up to the heart, which some people designate as different types of boundaries, whether you pull someone up to the heart, whether you double back on the kisses. We see that come up with Ace and Chelle. And Chelle refuses to talk to Huda about this afterwards, just talks to her girls and goes, the heart rate was up. What, you want him to die? So we don't exactly know what happened, but Huda did a big one on Ace.
Took it too far for Chelle,
is starting to do a mini crash out about this when Chelle won't talk to her, and she asks, if I was ugly, would it look better?
Who did she ask that of? It was somebody later in a later conversation. It might have been.
Or it might have been Nick. I don't know.
I don't remember who she was talking to, but that is kind of like the big thing that came out of that challenge. Other than the poor producing, the incredible performances by some of these players, it is this new kind of rift that has now formed between OGs, Huda and Chelle, two of the stars of the show. I think, by the way, Huda and Cierra are probably going to hit 1 million on Instagram. Maybe by the airing of this very episode, they might have done it. When we watched tonight, they were at 950 and 920K respectively. I want to know, what's Olandria at before tonight and after? Because we'll get to it, but that was a very intense moment she had. I agree. And by the way, she also performed so well in the. I couldn't believe these. Yeah, I can't even imagine how long it would take. I can't even memorize like more than 2 dance steps. I can't imagine how much preparation it would take to do a performance like one of these. Like, am I looking at this right? It looks like her numbers went down. I'm seeing 599K, but she was over 600 earlier tonight. And Chelle dropped as well. She's at 628K now. What? Is that possible? Cierra dropped? No. Is it 885 from 992? Maybe my computer's messed up. Huda, right here, I'm looking at 953. Wait, 1 million. Huda hit 1 million. Breaking news. Breaking Huda news. Hit 1 million. So it's Huda and did Ace her big one. Are in the million club. I think they did lose maybe numbers. I wasted my vote on Huda. I'm telling you. I'm just always worried in every recoupling that she's going to go home. Cierra was at 920. She's now at 885. They lost numbers. And on your phone too? Let me look. That's this is so very bizarre. I know. That's so many to lose. I wonder if your computer is not updated. What do you mean? But then it wouldn't have said Huda. Like, I don't know, the cookies or the cachet. Come on. No. Sierra's at 885 on my phone too. And I literally was just looking at it and it said 920. And then I refreshed it and she went down. Is it possible they're losing followers as a result of this?
No.
Their play?
Especially not Sierra.
Yeah, I don't get why she would. Olandria, 599. Let's see. Belle A, I'm looking at 443. I've refreshed 447. So hers went up. Jeremiah, 465, 471. I'm telling you, I think they lost followers. Amaya, 654, 709.
I haven't checked the internet after the episode. What?
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. I think this is real. Nick goes from 424 to 427.
In response to what?
I don't know. Everybody else is going up. Except Sierra and Olandria and Chelle. I don't know.
Now I'm going to be in the forums for hours
trying to figure this out. I mean, that's our number 5 thing is really they might have lost numbers. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but holy shit.
I feel like it's not, but
we'll see.
Anyway, I would expect Sierra to hit 1 million as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Our number 4 top moment from this week of Love Island was the Casa versus Villa Makeout challenge that had Ace orchestrating human pyramids and boulders.
Yes. And this to me, that moment, I mean, the challenge itself was whatever. You had crazy shit Austin was doing. The Spider-Man kiss. It was best kiss at MTV Movie Awards 2003. Everybody knows that kiss. That's my Austin. Thank you.
Wild. Everyone does know that kiss, though.
Of course, it's iconic. But the idea of this challenge is that it's meant to rile everybody up because the text comes through, kiss the guy with the longest hair. And now we all know, every player knows who that guy is on the other side. So if you're partnered with that guy, it's like, oh shit, he's making out with somebody. It's meant to get in your heads. And then who's going to win the kissing and blah, blah, blah. There's
not only that, but it's supposed to be the first thing they do when they get into Casa to break the touch barrier with all the new people. And in this case, they had it after our recoupling. It was, do not do that again. This should be the first thing. It's fun. It gets people closer, breaking the touch barrier, breaking the kiss barrier. Like, I don't understand why they delayed this.
I agree 100%. The things I liked about it, though, primarily had to do with Ace orchestrating these giant 5 people are stacked on top of each other, making out in a human pyramid, human boulders, whatever he's calling them. It shows you that many of these players, Ace included, understand that the challenges are kind of their own thing. They are spectacle. Let's make this as big and as crazy as we can. It has nothing to actually do with feelings or emotions or who wants to be in a couple with who or any of that shit. It's literally just like, what is the craziest shit we can possibly do? Yeah. That alone, we're going to get to the boundaries of challenges, and doesn't matter if it's in a challenge and all that. That'll be coming in our next 3 things that we're going to talk about. But I personally think, no, if you're in a challenge, anything goes, and you can't be mad about it. That's my own personal view.
That's your own personal boundary. I think that the individual couple can determine that. But I loved the human boulders. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know how they physically were able to carry that many people who were making out. I remember screaming last season at the USA one because I think they introduced the everyone hook up with everyone. I don't know when that was introduced, but that is a really good. They usually end the game that way. And last year I was like, holy shit. It reminded me of True Blood when there's like the witch gets everyone to do like a orgy in the forest.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you can't forget it.
The bull
And I was
witch.
just like, it was so like hooked up like it's the end of the world. And then everyone went to town. And then this year, I feel like it even escalated further.
That season of True Blood pissed me off so bad. And that end of that season was when I was like, fuck, I guess I got to watch this because I like vampires. But Jesus, that witch was presented as like, oh my God, she was a god. or goddess, couldn't be touched by any of these. The vampires couldn't get her. The werewolves couldn't get her. Nobody could fucking touch her. She's ultimately powerful. And then in the end, all it required was the shapeshifter guy to like trick her, and she died. I was like, this show is bullshit. Get out of here.
I don't remember that. I don't remember how she died. I just remember how she lived.
Oh my God. Okay. Moving on.
That show. Oh my God. Eric Northman.
Skarsgård.
Ugh. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff he did.
Yeah. I remember the episode where he goes and he re-meets his maker. Do you remember that? I forget his maker's name. It was like a little kid though. Do you remember?
Vaguely.
It doesn't matter. Go watch True Blood. It's only 200 years old.
It's a great show. Very sexy.
Not. That first season is really good, and then it is a terrible fucking campy pile of shit. I watched every episode of it. Don't get me wrong. The end is great.
I don't know if I watched the end.
Oh my God. So the end is a fucking literal nighttime picnic with all the vampires except Bill, because he's now dead. Don't
say the end. This is a spoiler.
This show's been off the air for a decade.
I did not remember him having died.
You even saw it, and now I'm getting blamed just simply because you can't remember.
I don't think I saw the end. I think I stopped when my favorite character died.
Okay, well, the end is very lackluster, and the very end of it, the whole fucking show you're watching to see who is Sookie gonna wind up with, the vampire or the fucking other vampire, or there's also maybe a fairy
Bill
and all this other shit
Eric.
comes in. Right. So in the end, she doesn't wind up with either of them. They're all sitting at a nighttime picnic that she's prepared, and she's just sitting there with some regular dude who's never been in the show before. And she's like, well, I'm happy now, so I guess that's good enough.
That sucks.
She had two fucking vampires. Now she's just dating some accountant.
I know. I mean, God, I just was always rooting for Eric. But I was like, well, she's dating Bill in real life. Of course, they're not going to give us this. Remember that episode where he is buried in the earth and he comes out of the ground and bangs her?
Hell yeah.
That was crazy.
We've all been there.
That was number 4. Our number 3 top moment from Love Island this season is the Love Island Truth Box Challenge, aka the Standing on Business Challenge in episode 26. So much happened in this.
Yeah.
It seemed like a recipe for disaster and people just being mean, and it was.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought it seemed like a recipe for just blah, like who's going to say anything. I was very pleasantly surprised by this.
Why would you say anything mean?
Massive errors made, but it did make it pretty fucking entertaining. And we call this, by the way, the Truth Box Challenge, because that is what Bachelor in Paradise tried to do last season in season 9 by having a box where people could slip in anonymous comments about everyone else. And it's like 99% positive. Producers put in all the comments and nobody gave a shit. This is how you actually do this challenge correctly. And a character destroyed
it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget he smashed the fucking truth box and they put it back together, if I remember right. Anyways.
I mean, to me, it just shows how different producing can do the same game element. Like, literally, it could have been this.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like they must have goaded people into, like, talking shit on their past couples or something, because I couldn't believe the shit people put in it. But
it was
they're reality stars.
You knew it was going off the rails. The first time I knew is when Amaya was brought to not just tears, brought to a sobbing fit, and that forced her to storm off the pedestal and be double STCO'd by, of course, the greatest STCO in the history of at least this season, Cierra, and Huda trailing along to do a double STCO there. She essentially was broken down by 3 guys in a row. Austin put in a comment that said, "You're too emotional and cry too much." Ace backs that up. And then Zach with a K backs that up for a triple backup.
Yeah.
Just a stupid error on all 3 of their parts.
Yeah. One cultural defense by Brian.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it's like it was escalating errors. Like Austin putting that in the first place. You're just going to kick her when she's down. You've already dumped her and recoupled. It's a completely unforced error. Ace, you're not even included in. There's no reason for you to even be speaking. Another unforced error. And then Zach K, I mean, just completely fumbling the ball in this. This is your couple.
Totally.
You don't have a secure couple yet.
Absolutely.
Why would you do this?
It makes no sense. And I thought that was going to be the end of it. I thought it was like, whoa, that's a crazy blowout. No, that's just the beginning. That's the tip of this shit iceberg that was now floating through the ocean of Love Island. We see Ace. We see he gets into it with, was it Austin? Who put in his comment? It was Austin.
He was like, I remember it because Ace said, I'm 5'10" with balls versus 6'5" or something.
Yeah, because Ace comes right at him. Super aggressive, super control-o style, and kind of shuts him down. And then he tries to turn his aggression back toward Amaya, I think. Austin,
yeah,
do you remember this?
Austin then turns and shits on Amaya again.
Yeah, just
it's not working with Ace.
Symphony of errors here. We also then see Huda and Chelle. They finally have their moment during this challenge as well. Huda submits something that Chelle has to read that basically says, why are you so pissed at me? Fuck you. Instead of an apology. We were saying this as we were watching it in our Casa Gore on Patreon, that this would have been the perfect opportunity for Huda to have submitted via the card, put it in writing. Chelle, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I thought the challenge was this way. I completely apologize. If I overstepped any bounds, I realized I was in the wrong. Please, you're one of my best friends in here. I don't want our friendship to be tainted by this. Like, no guy is worth it. Something along those lines. But she
definitely wasn't my intention at all.
Yeah. She instead wrote something about, well, if you have boundaries and you're open options, then some kind of bullshit that tried to like back herself up. And that was an error to some degree. We also see Olandria tattling on Huda and Chris's kiss to the whole fucking group. Chris doesn't enjoy this. He's like, that's my business. What the fuck are you doing? She's like, well, now it's everybody's business. Fuck you. And we see Olandria finally. It's always just under the surface with her and Clarke. They're cordial. No, I have nothing but respect for you. You came to me and you told me what was going on. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But you can just tell right under the surface. They're ready to fucking explode. And when Taylor gets up there and has to read his first comment from her, she explodes and just lays into him. How you made me feel. She's cussing at him, saying all this shit. He is doing a Home Alone face the whole time. He can't believe what's happening. He's just getting fucking wrecked. He defends himself, I think, to some degree pretty well, as best as you could in a situation like this. But nonetheless, this entire
his closer.
Event, what's that?
Taylor's closer, to me, was the biggest part of this.
Oh, for sure. That was the biggest moment. And that's why it was edited such and everything else.
I choose Clarke.
Yeah.
When he said if the card just reads like, why are you taking so long to choose?
Yeah. He's like, fine. You guys want me to choose right now? I will. I choose Clarke. And so it was basically thrown back in Olandria's face.
Drop.
And I would say, like, for Olandria, it's hard. She's walking a razor's edge of, was this a good play? Because she became the main character of this whole thing, made her point finally, got that moment of kind of an outburst saying like, oh, you fucked me over, whatever. Was that a good play or was it an error? Because if she really did have any intention of getting back together with Taylor, I think that is now blown out of the water.
I think she literally dumped him in her speech first. So I don't think her intention was that at all. I'm very curious. This is why I want to know her numbers, because I'm like, how will the fourth audience react to this? The fourth audience tends to take sides. Will they take Taylor's side? Will they pick Olandria's side numbers wise? I think they'll both get pretty big gains from this. And Taylor has played such a like passive goofball role this season. I didn't think he had it in him to do this big dramatic moment.
I agree, but he did, and he pulled it off.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like you want Casa Amor to have some actual lasting effect, because often it doesn't, and this it did.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, Speaking of Casa Amor, our number 2 most important thing that happened this week is the Casa Amor recoupling. Now, I'm going to say this right off the top. This is another area where the producers, I think, have turned in a bad season, or at least in terms of how they handle Casa Amor. One of the best things about it is at the end, the players have to decide, are they going to come back to the recoupling alone, or are they going to bring the bombshell that they've been exploring a connection with? Here, this season, nobody ever has to make that choice. Everybody just comes back. And I think that moment is like a big play to be made one way or another. Yeah. Like we all remember when what happened with Kayla and Aaron when he came back and she just fucking lost it. Those are great moments. And we don't get those here.
Well, he came back single, didn't he? But then Rob brought Daniela.
Oh God, that's right. That's right. Yes, that is correct.
But Cordell brought his partner back from Casa Amor. We saw Kenny bring back his partner, causing a huge blow up with Janae as well. They tend to call that the sticker twist. I do not know why they changed it. It's like one of the best parts of the show.
I agree.
And they effectively did the same thing anyway, because people had to go pick who they wanted to recouple with. And then most of the Casa people went home anyway. So I'm like, what did you get out of this besides losing this very dramatic moment for each couple?
Yeah, I don't know what they did get out of it, but what we got out of it eventually was probably the biggest moment is Taylor picking Clarke over Olandria, making Olandria vulnerable to elimination, essentially. And then all the other players have to vote. It was Olandria, Coco, and
Vanna.
Poor Vanna. She got such a fucking shit into the stick this season. And the guys were Elan, Zach with a C, and
C, JD,
right. And so Olandria gets voted to stay, and Elan gets voted to stay. The vote for Olandria is interesting because Taylor's a part of making that decision. So somehow he votes for her to come back, even though he has just dumped her to her face. I found that kind of interesting. They did do a decent job, I thought, with the edit of making me think like, oh shit, maybe Coco's going to get the vote here.
I know. Justice for Coco. Bring her back as an OG. She was electric. And just basically got screwed in this situation because she ends up with Ace, who's already in a strong couple. That's what I thought the promise of everyone coming back would be that all of the bombshells stay, at least for a little bit. Sad about Coco. Taylor was like presumably still pursuing both Olandria and Clarke at the time. We get Cierra running into Nic's arms and kissing him when he comes back.
Yeah, and Elan's just standing there like, that poor motherfucker.
Clearly,
this
she's
is why I voted
open.
for him. Like, that dude has just been like, there ain't a moment he's had that has been good. He's like, shit, I thought I really had something with her. I thought that I had some in there that it was possible. And then as soon as she sees Nic, she's literally like dead sprinting to him, jumping into his arms.
Well, they tell her that he was voted off for like 1 second. You think that Nic and Olandria went home. What was I going to say? Hope they don't do this. Hope they don't do this with Casa again. Don't ruin my favorite thing.
I agree.
But I get wanting to fuck with it though. Like, I've seen a lot of Casa Amors at this point. Except Australia, they still won't do it. They did like Hotel Amor, which was like kind of a mini version of it. But just do it. And often the Casa Amor players like eventually get dumped, even if they come back. Like, very rarely have they been able to like fully get someone to turn their head from their original couple. So I get why they like want to mess with it.
Yeah. Well, they messed with this one for better or worse. It brings us to our number one most important moment of this past week on Love Island USA Season 7. It is from episode 25, our first official closed couple. It happened on a beautiful one-on-one date between Nic and Cierra, where they got to take some little mountain bikes. He could barely make it up the mountain. He complained multiple times of being too tired and falling over on his little bike, but they made it to their picnic spot, spread out their blanket, had their champagne and their sandwiches. And Nic said, I want to officially ask you if you want to be closed off. Cierra says yes. And they are the first couple to have done this season in a beautiful moment, shot beautifully. Congrats to them. I had high hopes for them very early on when they first coupled up, and they are not disappointing. Beautifully played.
I mean, at this point, they're my favorite couple. Like, I ship them.
I loved every element of this. The celebrations with the guys and the ladies when they came back were fantastic. All of their, little jokes, they're now kind of pushed into this role of
mom and dad
annoying couple. It's not mom and dad. They're in there fucking. They had a whole bit about how you're too loud when you're fucking, and she's like, fuck it, we were celebrating. I don't think they're put in the mom and dad role. I think it's like the annoying couple who's like too good together. That's kind of how I see them anyway to the rest of the players.
There's like a mom and dad, like strongest couple kind of thing that gets put on the first couple to all eggs.
My mom and dad had that too.
Such a strong play. You'll see where it goes in my weekly awards. You want to be the first to close off, because then you're going to get a date. Then you're going to get a hideaway. You're going to get all that screen time. And they beat Chelle and Ace to it, which is wild considering Chelle and Ace have been in a 10-year relationship.
They also beat Huda and Jeremiah to it, for what it's worth. But those were our top 10 moments for this past week. Now let's get to our awards of the week. What was your error of the week, PaceCase?
This was a tough one, but I'm going to go with Pepe turning down exploring Andrina.
Oh my God, yes.
Resulting in Andrina's first ever friend zone, which does not surprise me at all. She is so extraordinarily beautiful. But other than that, like, she's also the bombshell that came in on Megan Thee Stallion night, like a huge early bombshell. And generally, like you were saying, you want to attach yourself to the strongest person that you can, the most OG person that you can. And Pepe then immediately says that there's no spark with Grayson. So it's like, what is your gameplay here? You're not even going to explore? You're not even going to options open? It made no sense to me. There was another error, but I think it's your error. So,
well, I was going to go with that error too. That was another huge one. I totally agree with you. But my error of the week was Austin, Ace, and Zach doing the triple down versus Amaya in the Standing on Business challenge. I just didn't understand any of them coming for her, let alone all three of them. And it pushes her into this moment where she is forced to run off sobbing, unable to even complete the challenge or continue doing it. And it just seemed like they were piling on her for no damn reason. She is a beloved character in the show. Not that they would know that exactly, but like, it just never behooves you, I think, to like make anyone cry for any reason, let alone for three dudes to do it in a row to the same person in the same play.
For no reason. They did it, and then like Austin even like quadruples down later when it's not even Amaya's turn. And it's like, a man yelling at a woman to the point of tears is just never, no one wants to see that.
Yeah, it's not good TV.
No,
it's
especially not our Amaya papaya.
Yeah,
bad play.
Exactly. What was your face play of the week?
The night that Cierra and Nic closed off and therefore loudly banged in front of everyone, Taylor does a wide open mouth aperture face in the night vision. That was my
face play of the game.
It made me laugh so hard.
Yeah. Well,
what was
Taylor
yours?
also had my face play of the week in this final Standing on Business challenge. When Olandria is just taking him to task, he gives us multiple variations of a classic Home Alone, including the classic Home Alone itself. 2 hands on cheeks, eyes wide, mouth wide. He can't believe it's happening. He also gives us eyes wide, hands on cheeks, mouth closed. He also gives us a couple of variants with the hands on various places in the face. But the classic Home Alone, he pulls it off perfectly. And that was my
face play of the game.
How about
He's such a good face player.
I agree. How about your play of the week? Or no, what about creature? Do you have a creature of the week?
The makeout between Huda and Chris occurs in the Speakeasy, and right before it, Huda kills a mosquito, and I want to say Chris calls her a killer, and this mosquito was my creature of the week.
It was the makeout mosquito was also my creature of the week. We thank you for your sacrifice, mosquito. You made the scene better. What was your play of the week?
Nic and Cierra, all eggs, one basketing was my play of the game.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed Taylor picking Clarke, just in general, because of just switching something up in the season. Totally. But yeah, had to be the all eggs.
I agree. Nic asking Cierra officially, formally to close off was also my play of the game. Like we said, they're out in front now. Can anybody even catch them? Probably not. We'll have to wait and see.
Probably not.
It all started
Although,
here.
if what you're saying is true about Sierra's numbers, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, is it
I feel like
both
that's
my
not
phone and my
real,
computer are off?
I don't know.
She was at 920 something when I looked earlier today.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive of.
Okay.
Let me just make sure. Because she was up there with Huda over in the 900K. Now she's at 878. So the numbers are changing. Huda still at 1 million. Chelle 626. She just lost 2,000 since the last time I looked. Is that possible? Olandria
I have no
lost
idea.
2,000 since the last time I looked.
I have to take to the forums after this. I'm very confused.
Last time I looked at it was 599. Now she's at 597.
How
Bell
could they be going down?
448 going up.
How can they be going down and Jeremiah's going up?
Jeremiah went up by 1,000 since last time I checked. Amaya Papaya, she's gone up 7K since last time I checked.
I mean, I guess it could be like an extreme negative reaction to the truth box.
But on Chelle, what did she do?
I don't know.
For the Huda thing? Are people pro Huda, anti
I doubt
Chelle,
people are siding with Huda. No way.
She hit 1 million. They are. She's at 1 million.
I am.
She's at 1 million. I think these numbers are right. I think they're hemorrhaging followers. Some of these other players. It's happening. Anyways, who was your
I'm
MVP?
very confused by that.
PaceCase.
One player doesn't have a partner, doesn't have a teammate, is a one-woman performance, but it doesn't matter. She can play alone. She's doing cartwheels when she's getting ready. She's singing her Amaya Papaya song. She's performing almost constant tear play. Amaya was my MVP. Who was yours?
She was not it, but she is among my favorite players for sure. I love everything she does. However, just based on what has happened this week in the game, Cierra was my MVP. She got in that first close-off relationship. She was STCOing left and right, high quality STCOs. She's making all the noise in the sex room and not apologizing for it. She's dominating the game as far as I'm concerned right now. I know there's a lot of drama with Huda and Chelle and Olandria and Taylor, and I get all that, and we're kind of watching that mess. But I think Cierra this week, I've wanted to give her MVP a lot. This week she elevated herself with that closing off. Undeniable in my opinion. She is the MVP this week.
My only tick against her is I picked her last week.
My only thing against her is she's losing followers, apparently. Is this real?
Well, I don't know how that's possible.
I don't either, but it's... there's Olandria just went down another 1,000 since me checking like 15 seconds ago. This is happening. They're losing followers.
I need to get to the internet. God.
I'm on it. I'm looking right at it.
What are the forums saying? Are people like really upset to unfollow? Like, why are people unfollowing them is my question.
I don't know. Let me see.
On game night.
What should I put? I'm going to put is Olandria losing followers.
Are you asking ChatGPT?
Several users on X have stated that Olandria, along with other Love Island USA contestants like Chelle and Cierra, have been losing followers on Instagram after a recent episode. One user specifically mentions that the losses are not as significant as Cierra's, but blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're losing followers.
Why?
This is all over Twitter. I don't know.
Maybe they bought followers and... No, but it wouldn't all be happening at the same time.
We're revoking this purchase. What do you mean?
No, it wouldn't be happening to all of them at the same time. I don't know. They got caught.
I think this challenge fucked them. This is wild.
But what did Cierra do during the challenge?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I have no idea.
Who is the winner of the challenge? I'm very confused. Okay.
It's happening. Well, everybody research it for yourselves. I'm sure we'll be talking about it in Twibbin later this week.
I will be researching it the next 48 hours. This is all I'll be doing.
Me too.
Until the next episode.
Yeah. Please, thank you for watching this with us. And please join us for Twibbin. We're going to be talking about some huge stuff that happened this week, including the renewal of The Bachelor. Season 30 is happening.
Woohoo! We got Chalamet. Finally.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
It's not Chalamet. I'm sorry for that joke.
It's Johnny Chalamet. You don't know.
Thank you. It's his brother. Yeah. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Join us on Casa Amor, patreon.com/Game of Roses for our pretty much daily content. Bye.
Bye.
Praise be Dark Lord Maddox.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.